everyone. I'm Sabrina, licensed massage therapist in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm also certified in lymphatic drainage, myofascial release, cosmetic surgery therapy, lymphatic taping, and breast massage. Okay, so today I want to talk about the 5 key points to recovery. So 1, nutrition. 2, massages. 3, compression. 4, exercise. And 5, mindset. Because it's all about this, but we'll get to that later. Now, 1, nutrition. So when you are healing from surgery, even plastic or other surgeries than plastic surgery, it is super important that you maintain a low sodium diet and low refined sugars diet. So what that means, it's so much better to just cook at home. Make your own food. Protein, veggies. Now, soup is super good if you're making your own soup. If you're eating something from a can, there's a lot of sodium in those. I know a lot of my patients, I've noticed, love those protein shakes. Read how much sodium are in those protein shakes because it's pretty crazy and those blow people up. So as long as you're getting stuff that has low sodium and low sugar, you're good. But if you can just make everything at home, that's honestly the best, because if you're going to cook some chicken, you can control how much salt you put into it. But if you're going to a place like McDonald's, you can't control how much salt they put in that stuff. And there's a lot. And so the reason why it's so important to make sure that you're maintaining a good nutrition throughout this process is because that's what's going to make or break your whole recovery process. The healthier you are, the faster you heal. The healthier you are pre-surgery, you're going to heal twice as fast. I've just seen it. The people who are the healthiest heal the fastest. And that's why food is so important. That's also why it's number 1 on my list of talking about what is super important post-surgery. Now, massages. So when you have all this crazy amount of inflammation in your body, the faster that we can get rid of the inflammation, the faster that you can heal. A body that has an excessive amount of inflammation does not heal properly. And that's where my job comes into play. So when you're getting the proper massages, your therapist should be opening up your lymph nodes and directing the fluid into the proper lymphatic channels. Now, when you're picking your therapist, it's important to know that they're either licensed or certified, but 100% certified in lymphatic drainage. However, when it comes to post-op massage, you should it's so much more than just lymphatic drainage. There's so much other components that go into it. Myofascial release, for example, which is another thing that I'm majorly certified in. Because when you're dealing with surgery, you're dealing with scar tissue and you're dealing with possible complications. And it's important that your person knows when to handle what kind of complication and what to do for that complication when it comes up, so you can get the best results. Now, later on in another video, I will actually talk about the difference in types of massages that we see throughout the world and also what to really, really look out for, because this is such a huge conversation and I could dive so deep into it. But for right now, massage is super important, but the proper massages are even more important. Now, number 3, compression. So a compression can either make or break your recovery process. Now, if you have the wrong compression, it'll give you fibrosis. I've seen this so many times, and it's so hard sometimes to find the right compression for people. That being said, when you come to a professional like myself who understands this whole process, we also help guide you into finding the right compression. I'm actually working with someone here in Las Vegas that I have seen, and I like her compression garments, and they actually really have helped sculpted some of my patients. Now sometimes, and I'll talk about this when I talk about different types of procedures, what kind of compression garment I recommend for that specific procedure. Because if you're only getting a tummy tuck and you're not getting any lipo, you really only need something to keep you nice and tight, nice and fitted, nice and cozy. But if you're having a big surgery like Lipo 360 with a BBL, Or some of my crazier surgeries like Lipo 360, BBL, tummy tuck, lipo in the arms, breast lift, then those types of compressions need to be a lot more stronger, and they need to fit your body a lot better so that you get the best result. So remember, the key point to this compression is that as long as it's not denting you, it's keeping everything nice and flat, then you're going to have a great result. If you have a compression garment that is leaving dents inside you and you see irregularities in your body, it's going to give you fibrosis and find another one, okay? And if you're my patient, show me what you're wearing so that we can get you a better garment. Okay, number 4, exercise. So if you see me, I give you exercises to do throughout the week and throughout each surgery, not surgery process, but throughout each time and point in your surgery recovery journey. So in the beginning, we start off chill, just some chill exercises, just walking, just making sure that you're stretching. And of course, I give you different types of exercises depending on where you are at. And then later on, especially after 8 weeks, you can start using more weights. So in the beginning, only 5 pounds. After 8 weeks, you can start baby stepping in. Of course, if you're healing faster, then we can move on to some other weights. But that being said, when it comes to exercise, walking is really good. And even in the beginning, walking in your house. Walking helps stimulate your lymphatic system. And getting things moving is honestly the most important thing and part of this process. Now, later on, it is good to start stretching. Depending on what your procedure is, then we can start doing different types of stretches that cater to the procedure that you had. But of course, we'll go over that in some other videos. This is just a generalization of what is important and what you need to know for the rest of your recovery journey. Now, 5, mindset. Mindset is literally the most important part, and that's why I left it at number 5, because you saved the best for last of this whole journey. Because people who are positive and have a good outlook on this whole process, even if they have the worst complications, heal twice as fast. The more positive you are, the faster you heal. If you're negative about this whole situation, you're going to heal so slow and you're going to have complications and it's going to be just a train wreck. So let me dive a little bit more deeper into mindset. If you went through something super, super traumatic, whether it's life experience, whether it's a death in the family, whether it's anything, a car accident that injured you, and say you have surgery and a month from the car accident, or say you went through a really tragic loss and you decide to have surgery a month later, you're gonna heal slow. I just highly recommend waiting and then having surgery a year later or having surgery even 2 years later, because a lot of my patients that I've dealt with that have already had depression going into this, it takes a long time for them to heal. So heal the mind before you start working on the body, because remember, it's all connected. It's all connected. And so once this is good, this will heal twice as fast. But for my patients that are watching this, that I send this to, stay positive. I got you. And if you're not my patient, then the link to my website will be listed down below. You can also go to my Instagram or my TikTok and message me through there. If you don't live here in Las Vegas, however, you can still message me. I do Zoom calls, so if you have any questions, you could still book me with a Zoom call. And I can go over some steps on how to help you get to where you need to get to and where you want to get to in your surgery journey. So that being said, have an excellent night. Like, subscribe, and put those push notifications so you can get some more info from my videos.